this thing. And this one travels out of bounds, so unsuccessful there on the onside kick try. Wishing he had a mulligan. That's not how you want to start the game.
Not at all, because not only do you give up the penalty and good field position, but it just kills the momentum of your team as you start a game.
A give running right, ETN. And a good burst there right from the start as he'll get this one out near the 35. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Looking to throw, Lawrence. He's got a man. It's his fullback. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Here's Lawrence to throw. And this one incomplete. Oh, he couldn't hang on to it in the end zone, and that's one that'll haunt you. And now it brings up 3rd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Amani Hooker. And the Titans are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
2nd down, they go again with Henry. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And they are going to take possession of the football inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. A give to ETN running right. Oh, now he's stripped. He lost the football. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. And they'll go again with ETN. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. That leads us to a 1st and goal. It's a pickup of 8.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
ETN is in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Point after, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he returns this to the 22. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Well, this defense for the Jags, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. The Titans had 0-2 here to begin the season. And listen, they made their share of mistakes in these first 2 games, CD, but talking with them in the days leading up to this one, doesn't seem like they've lost any confidence.
I would agree with that. And what they told us was that they weren't planning on making any drastic changes. They didn't see the need to shake things up. They were going to continue to plow ahead. They thought they had the right guys on the team and in the locker room. But they do have to start winning some games.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. On 1st down, Tannehill. That's complete to Traylon Burks. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. This is intercepted. Picked up by Andre Sisco. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way. That was nice work there defensively to force the incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And they're knocking on the door now as a good run there. Going to take this to about the 10-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays. Now Lawrence on 1st down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal.
We always hear from coaches how much they like to run crossing routes because they want to hit their receivers on the go, get them the ball, and keep them moving. How about when you hit a tight end that way? Okay, the receivers are going to run past you most of the time. The tight end, they could do their damage a different way, break a few tackles and really scatter some people, can't they?
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
First down yardage on the first play of the drive, give him 14. Tannehill steps away to it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. K'Lavon Chason, the former first-rounder, in there to get the sack. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Tannehill intercepted again. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now Lawrence. He'll be hit and taken down at the 21. It's Jeffrey Simmons that time who got in to record the sack. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Lawrence. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes our score 17-0. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Andre Sisco. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football. He's continuing to be a big presence defensively. Remember last week, AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and a big pick right there.
And when you pile up big numbers, it gets everyone's attention. But sometimes the number just needs to be, how many game-changing plays did you make? Did you take the ball away from the other team? He just did that, trying to win the award again this week.
Here's a give to Etienne. And some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone. 56 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
How many times do we say in this game is speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways. In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Lawrence. And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Lawrence will throw. That's going to be caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. Evan Ingram as the first half is winding down. And the Jags are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point splits the uprights. And the rout is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Titans going to get the ball to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back to it on EA Sports. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. Well, they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any one of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive. But maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over. On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he's brought down short by a yard. It's a 3rd down gain of 4.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the 1st down. Now to be 4th and short.
They'll run for it with Henry. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. Play action. It's Tannehill. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. Just a gain of a couple there. And that will bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And he winds up getting this all the way down to the Jags' 28. 51 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. On 1st and 10, Tannehill. Throw left side complete. That's Henry. Touchdown! Derrick Henry, 28 yards. And the Titans get a bit closer. So that, Charles, their first score of the ballgame, obviously, coming here in the 3rd quarter. Is that going to be enough to energize the troops?
It's a great question, and we'll wait to...
Bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose.
Well, that 2-point attempt failed due to the fumble, but people can't see this, but you got a ball in your hands now, and you got the thing locked in pretty well. You got it covered up.
I love having a football in the booth. I always hang on to it. Makes me feel like I actually played back in my day.
Well, you probably could have. If you had run that play, you would not have fumbled. I can tell you that.
Maybe. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up, 1st and 10 at their own 42. They'll look to ETN to start things out. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Lawrence. Finds his tight end Ingram. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves. My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
To throw again on 2nd down, Lawrence. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 30. A nice pickup of 17 yards. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now Lawrence to throw. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. Final minute now in the 3rd quarter. A handoff for ETN. And out of bounds right around the 20. That's now consecutive 5-yard carries to pick up the 1st down.
I know flashy plays, splashy plays, as people like to call them, that attracts a lot of attention. But let's face it, when you're efficient, that can control a ball game. And I love the game plan they've got going right now.
Back-to-back 5-yard gains. Didn't force the ball downfield, picked it up on the ground.
Yeah, offensive line, they're getting it done.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, sometimes an incompletion is the right play, and he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Lawrence. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Back to the ground with Etienne. And they're going to get him down shy of the first at about the 13-yard line. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down. And the attempt at 3 will have to come from the other end of the field as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. And out across midfield down to the 45. 33 yards that time. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Now a handoff up the middle. Spears. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They'll keep it on the ground. Spears, room here to run. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. That one good for a pickup of 15 for Tennessee. Now a 1st down throw, Tannehill. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Up the middle they go. Spears. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal.
Check 3. Hey. Alert 3. Check safety. Block. Check 25. Check 20. Check block.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. The delay of game, a costly one, as they're backed up 5 for 1st and goal. Now it's Tannehill. And it's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Titans have got it back to a 2-score game here in the 4th. Tannehill going to throw for it. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Popular down near the goal line. Quick slant. Nice job there to get in, knock it away.
It was. And one of the other things you're concerned about when you throw that route is to make sure your offensive linemen use their leverage to get the hands of the defensive front down so you can throw it through that little bit of crowd and get it to the receiver. In this event, they did, but a nice play by the defender knocking it away.
Down under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Now it looks like he'll throw here. This would complete to Christian Kirk. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Lawrence hit and the ball is free. Thought it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing, and so Jacksonville will keep control. The fumble on 1st down now. Here's 2nd down. Now another timeout here called by the Titans, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. Back to throw. Lawrence. This is caught. It's Kirk. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Now the Titans will use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll just get rid of it. Here's Logan Cook now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Returning it is Moore. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And it'll be Titan football. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
We'll see if they go back to base. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation and the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
Down to a knee for the Jags. Victory seemingly in hand. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. So they came in here facing a very tall task, going against the NFL's #1 ranked defense, but they got the job done. Charles, really an outstanding performance.
They certainly showed that they weren't going to be intimidated, didn't they? They took out the best defense in the NFL today, took it right to them, and that's